Hi, I'm Katie Uhlmann reporting for Katie Chats at hotDOCS in downtown Toronto. I'm here with filmmaker Sharon Shattuck. How does it feel to have your film from this day forward screening here at hotDOCS?
I'm very excited. I feel like hotDOCS, it's our first international festival, and the reception has been amazing. And we had our first screening last night, and there were a lot of people in the audience and lots of really good questions. So I'm really psyched to be here.
And can you tell me a little bit about when you decided to make this film? It's been something that you've lived through for a long time, but when you decide to make those steps to tell your story?
Yeah, so I originally conceived of the film as the story of a lot of different LGBTQ families across the country and maybe even around the world. And so I started out and I did interviews with people in Seattle and in Florida and Michigan, and I was getting all these interviews, and they're amazing stories, like really compelling stories, but I knew that I wasn't going to be able to spend enough time with anybody. At the same time, I was filming my dad at home, and I was filming my family, and my friends in the office were like, Sharon, your dad is a great character. You should really just focus on your family, you know? And I was like, oh, I feel really uncomfortable doing that. And you know, it's a really tough decision to make a really personal film and put your life on display. And I didn't want to make that decision for my family until they said that it was okay. And then that's when I realized that I could make this story that I really wanted to make. So.
And well, congratulations for being very brave. And I love both of your parents, Tricia and Marsha, but can you just talk a little bit about this amazing love story and how, you know, most marriages, I don't know how they would survive it, but, you know, when your dad came out as a woman, and how their true love kept them together. It's so beautiful.
I agree. I think it's a beautiful story, and it's a hard story. You know, it was the 80s. I think it was even the 70s when my dad first told Marsha, my mom, that I am a woman. And I don't even know if they really had the language, like what it means, you know, transgender. I don't think that was something that was widely known at the time, and Marsha had never heard anything about this, and so it was very confusing for them, and they didn't really have a great support network. And I don't know, like, if there wasn't a guidebook or anything, and so they really like made this decision to stay together, you know, as Tricia was transitioning out of love. And I think it's a really inspiring story, and I don't know. I mean, I'm glad now that they stayed together. At the time when I was in elementary school, I really just wanted to like have a single mom and not have a father at all who was transitioning. But you know, I go through that in the film too. And I mean, I'm so glad that they stay together, because they are this shining example for me now as a newly married person of what you need to do to like work and like keep your marriage intact.
Absolutely. And can you speak a little bit to their move from Chicago to a smaller town, and the love story to this, you know, this smaller town, and why they made that decision?
So yeah, so we moved from Chicago to a small town in northern Michigan, and I think that as much as the film is a story about, you know, their love, it's also a love story about a place, and it's about. A lot of people say, well, why don't you just move to a city? You know, Tricia, like, you don't have to deal with discrimination in the city, not as much. But I think that she loves being in the place that she's in, and she loves northern Michigan. She loves mushroom hunting, which is in the movie a little. She loves the woods. They go for walks all the time. It's just a beautiful place, and they're very deeply rooted there. So yeah, I think I just really wanted to make that clear in the film too, that you don't have to be LGBTQ and like live in the city, or you don't have to live in the city to be, you know, accepted.
Absolutely. And what do your parents think of the film?
They really like it. I think at first they were like, why are you making a movie about us? We're so boring. But they said thank you for making it, and they told me that they cried a little when they first saw it. Tricia was at the premiere at Full Frame in Durham, North Carolina, and that was really amazing. I sat next to her, and she was laughing at the funny parts, and it was just really, really like heightened and exciting.
And something I noticed watching your parents is that they both have a really nice sense of humor, and they're both very lighthearted. So I don't know, can you speak a little bit to comedy, I guess, and being, open-minded and seeing the lighter side of things?
Yeah, I mean, that was very important to me growing up, to always kind of take things lightly and try to be funny, and I think that my parents are both like that. Like my dad is very lighthearted, and as much as the story has some difficult pieces to it, my parents are pretty happy people, and Tricia is very jovial and funny, and I think that's it's important to me to make a story that is uplifting and has some hope, because I see so many transgender stories that are really, really important to tell, but that are really sad. And I didn't want to make that story. And I think my family is not that story. So I had a chance to make something a little different.
And what's it been like for you with Bruce Jenner going through his transition right now, and it being, such a big media topic?
It's really amazing that it's happening right now, along with the TV show Transparent, which is just everything's sort of coming together at the same time. Tricia doesn't really know much about Bruce Jenner, except that she knows that Bruce Jenner was a Olympian, but that's pretty much the extent of her knowledge of Bruce Jenner. And so
she doesn't watch Keeping Up with the Kardashians?
Why not? No, the only thing she watches is Downton Abbey.
I do too. I love it.
Yeah, so do I. So I like it's kind of funny because I'll tell Trish, like, there's this zeitgeist, like all this, transgender media is happening, and she's like, oh, great, I don't know about any of it. But I think it is really, really positive, and I'm so happy for Bruce for coming out and being who she wants to be. I don't think he's announced a pronoun change yet, but it's just really exciting. And a lot of the elements in Bruce's interview are so similar to what my dad went through. It's really amazing. Yeah.
And where's the best place for us to find out more information on you and the film online?
You can go to fromthisdayforwardfilm.com.
Well, thank you so much, and congratulations.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. I'm Katie Uhlmann reporting for Katie Chats at hotDOCS in Toronto.